Good morning, students. Welcome to the session for Mathematics 5. I am your tutor, Ms. Loide Ampolo. Welcome, students, to another session of Mathematics 5. This presentation covers very few contents, and as a guide, as you are preparing for August examination for this year, so we are just going to cover two parts in our module. Please note that I cannot give attention to the whole content, to the whole syllabus, to the whole textbook. So should you have any question, please contact me for help. And this is not the examination scope. Be aware of that. And you should go through your prescribed textbook and the exact and learning outcomes as presented in your syllabus. So then go through your syllabus and then check and go through the learning outcomes to see what is that you are expected to know. And when you are revising for your examination, pay attention to those outcomes. And then you should know that mathematics is an intertwined, and then it's just a building on a subject. Therefore, you need to go through the mathematics modules that you did in previous years. Sometimes you will be required to know basic things that you have learned in your mathematics 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, and so you should be aware of that. So then sometimes you need that knowledge to work out something. Just to go through a subject overview, it's a subject that gives the exact content of mostly grade 12 ordinary level mathematics. I hope we are aware of that. This is the subject that will enrich you with how to solve mathematical problems and where you can apply it in reality. So this is a content subject. So then you have to know how to solve these problems, how to simplify, how to factorize, and so on. And mathematics topics build on each other, as I mentioned before. So then do not forget what you have learned in previous years. Don't forget. Do not just study for the sake of passing the module, but you should know that in future, in my other modules that will come, I need to know that. Let us continue. We are going to look at solving linear inequalities. This is one of the most important part in mathematics. So then we are going to solve some of the linear inequality. So then the first problem is solve x in each inequality. We are having only this inequality for now, which is 4, open brackets, 3x plus 2, close the brackets, and greater than 20, and show the result on a number line. So there are two things that you need to do here, to solve and to show your result on the number line. Okay, how are we going to solve that one? So then the inequality is 4, 3x plus 20, that one, 20. Okay, this is the inequality. How are you going to solve this one? When we are solving inequality, it's just the same as we are solving normal equations. So then in case we have brackets, we know what to do. Take the number outside the bracket and multiply it with all the terms inside the brackets. So then we have 4 times 3x, which will give us 12x. And then 4 times 20, this one will give us 80, and then here remains 20. This is what we have now. What must we do next? We have a constant term here to 80. So then let's take 80 on that other side, and then what must you do on this other side? You have to subtract. Okay, I'm sorry for the space here. And then make sure that your inequalities are straight to each other. 12x is equal to, if you take 80 on that other side, remember we are going to subtract 20 minus 80. This is what you have now. And then 12x is equal to 20 minus 80 will give us 60. All right. And then we want x. Remember it says solve for x. To solve for x, we have to find the value of x. So then here we divide. You can divide both sides by 12 then. These two cancel out. X is equal to 60 divided by 12. It will give us 60 by 12. Is it? 5. Okay, that one will give us 5. Okay, it's like this. It's like this. Okay, that is what you have. Okay, and then the next thing is to show this thing on the number line. Sorry for the equal sign here. Okay, so then here we have 60 divided by 12. It will give us 5. Okay, now this is what you have. It should be like this, not an equal sign. Remember, it's an inequality. Okay, the x is greater than 5. Then we have to show this inequality on the number line. So we have to draw our number line. Can just put it here. So then here we have, maybe we can just make like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then let's show that inequality now. X greater than 5. So then remember, on the inequality we sometimes use a shaded circle, sometimes we use an open circle, and then depending on the inequality we are using, in this case we are using this inequality greater than, we have to use an open circle at 5. Now, which numbers are greater than 5? X represent which numbers? Numbers greater than 5 are like 6, 7, 8, and 9. So then we have to draw our arrow pointing that side. Therefore, that is our answer. So we have solved the equation, the inequality, and so that x is greater than 5, and we showed it on the number line here. That is our answer. Let's move on to the second one. The second question is, find the range of values which satisfy the inequality 7 less than 2x plus 1 less than or greater than 13. And again, illustrate the solution on the number line. Okay, let's look at that one. Let's write the inequality again. So we have 7 2x plus 1 greater than or equal to 13. This is what you have. So then what must we do first is to solve this inequality. Now we have two different inequalities here. That means we have to separate these two inequalities to have two inequalities and solve them separate. Okay, now we have a 1 here, a plus 1 in the middle. Why can't we move it this side? So then we take 1 on this side and then we take it on this side again, so that we can have two different inequalities. So then in this side we have 7. If we move 1 on this side, it's a plus here, minus 1, and then smaller than 2x. And then here we have, and then there we can make also 2x, and then smaller than or equal to 13. And then you take 1 on that side, plus 1 on this side, then it will make us minus 1. So then we have two different inequalities here. Then we have to solve this one and solve this one again. Let's move on. 7 minus 1 will give us 6 less than 2x, and then we divide both sides by 2, and then we get 6 divided by 2 give us 3 less than x. These 2 and 2 cancel out. So then here 3 is less than x, or we can say x greater than 3 if you read it on going that direction. And for this one, so then we have 2x less than or equal to 13 minus 1. Let's solve this one. So then here we have 2x less than or equal to 13 minus 1 will give us 12. And then you divide both sides by 2. 2 and 2 cancel out. X is less than or equal to 12 divided by 2 will give us 6. Now we have these two inequalities. Now we have to combine them and then show them on the number line. So then in total we have 3 less than x. We have a common x here. We can just make use of 1. Less than or equal to 6. This is the solution for that one. And this is the one that we have to show on the number line. So then we draw our number line here. Again, this is 3. So we have to just start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, then let's show this on the number line. So then we have x in the middle. Well, by these numbers, x are greater than 3, but they are less than or equal to 6. There is a limit here. Numbers greater than 3, but those numbers are less than or equal to 6. So how can we present this thing on the number line? There's a 3 here. We have to put a circle at 3. The immediate inequality here is less than, so then we have to use an open circle. And we have to put our circle at 6. And then according to this inequality, this circle is going to be a shaded circle. Now, which numbers are represented by x? Numbers which are greater than 3. Bigger than 3, but those numbers are less than or equal to 6. Which numbers are those? These are 4, 5, and 6 is included. So then these are the numbers between these two numbers, 3 and 6. But then 3 is not included, so then the range of values would satisfy that inequality is 4, 5, and 6. Because these are the numbers greater than 3, but they are less than or equal to 6. Okay, that is our solution for this problem. Let us continue with the next one. The another thing that you are going to look at today is logarithms. Logarithms is a very important thing part in mathematics, and then this is another way of looking at indices. How can we work with indices now? Using logarithms. Okay, in mathematics we can write numbers in index notation form, and we can also write numbers in a logarithmic form. Like in the example here, we have, if you write 2 power 6 is equal to 64, in the logarithmic form is log 2, 64 equals to 6. Okay, the base remain the same, and then the other two numbers is like we swap them. 6 become the answer, the solution, and 64 will be there now. Okay, and then how can we read this now? We read it as 2 raised to the power of 64. 2 raised to what power is 64? 2 raised to what power now? You are calculating, working out the power in which 2 will be raised to give us 64. That is how the problem is, or how the logarithm is. And then very important, you should know how to write or change numbers written in index notation form into a logarithmic form, and vice versa. So then in this case, sometimes you'll be given like if I'm having 2 power 3 equal to 8, how can I write this one in a log form, in a logarithmic form? This is going to be log 2, as I say, the base remain the same, 8 equal to 3. That is our answer. That is it. 2 power 3 equal to 8 in the logarithmic form is log 2 8 is equal to 3. All right, let's continue. We have 3 logarithmic laws. You should know them in order to solve some of the logarithmic questions. You should know them. We have the product law. Example for the product law, like if I'm having log 2 plus log 3 as a product law, this is going to be log 2 times 3. Okay, we multiply these two together, not 2 plus 3, because we have a plus here. It's going to be a product. We are going to multiply these two numbers. Okay, so then which is going to be log 6. 2 times 3 is equal to 6. And the power law, if I'm having log 7 power 3, how is it going to be as a power law? So then this one, the power or the index become, you write it first. So then this is going to be 3 log 7. All right, that is the power law. Number 2, which is the power law. Okay, and then number 3, we have the quotient law. The quotient law, for instance, if I'm having log 24 minus log 3 as a quotient law, quotient we divide, this is going to be log 24 over 3. You divide these two numbers, and then this is going to be 24 divided by 3 will give us 8, log 8. So then that is our answer for, and we should know these laws for you to be able to solve logarithmic questions. All right, let's continue. Let's look at some of the questions now, some of the examples that you might come across. Don't forget your laws, because you have to use them, as I said. Write as a single logarithm, like log 6 minus 2. How can you write this as a single logarithm? Okay, I'm having log 6 here, but I don't have any log here. So then you should go through, as I said, there are so many things under logarithm that you should know, the rules, the laws, and some of the facts that you should know. Now, in case we have a single number here, you assume that the base is 10. So then this one can be written as log 10 power 2. This is log 6. Then we continue, we have to simplify this one. So log 6 minus log 10 power 2 will give us what now? Log 10 power 2 is 100. Okay, this is what you have now. If you are to go back to our laws, when do we have a subtraction? This is similar to the quotient law. So then we must use a quotient law. Okay, a quotient law said log, this is going to be log 6 over 100. Okay, if you have a subtraction, it's the same rule, it's a quotient law. Okay, this is going to be log 6 over 100, and then you just have to simplify this one. You can take 2 goes in 6 3 times, and then 2 goes in 100 is 50 times. So then in simplest form, this one is going to be log 3 over 50, and this is a single logarithm. Okay, it's different from this one. You have 2 logarithms here, you have 2 things here, but then now we are only having a single one. So then this is our answer. So then it's for this one, it's going to give us log 3 over 50. Okay, let's move on to the second question, which is use logarithms to solve for x in. So then solve for x, meaning find the value of x. If I'm having 2 and then 5 power x is equal to 18. This is what I have. This is, remember, there's a multiplication here between 2 and this bracket. There's a multiplication, and we want to find the value of x. Okay, what must we do? And it's only 5, which is raised to the power of x. 2 is out. 2 is not raised to the power of x. It's only 5, which is raised to the power of x. Okay, so then let's divide both sides by 2. So then 2 and 2 are cancelled out. So then here I'm only left with 5 power x is equal to 18 divided by 2. It will give us 9. Okay, and then from there, what must we do? Then we come back to the power law. Okay, we can write this one in a logarithmic form. We can write this one in a logarithmic form. So then x power 5 power x is a log, is x log 5 is equal to log 9. Okay, then from there, what must we do? We can divide both sides by log 5. Log 5. This one cancel out, so then x is equal to this number. So on your calculator, you just press log 9 divided by log 5, and then you get your answer. Okay, which is probably, I checked it, is 1.21 if you want to, if you round it off to 2 decimal places. That is what you have. Okay, log 9 divided by log 5 is 1.21. So then on your calculator, there's a button for a log. So then you just press log 9 divided by log 5 equal, and that is what the answer that you'll get. So then you should know how to solve these things. You have to solve how to solve for x and use those laws to make sure that you understand, and you should know what to do for each. Okay, that's it for the logarithms. In conclusion for this part, you must practice more often. You know, mathematics, you cannot just read it today and tomorrow you think you know everything. You should practice more often to remind yourself and to know that this is what you have to do every time you are working with logarithms, or every time you are working with inequalities. And you should know those formulas in mathematics. You should know the steps, and you should know the rules, and you should know the laws that the one that we have we worked with here on logarithms. And you should know how to work out everything. You have to know this is the first step. From there, I have to do this. This is what that is next. You have to know all the steps, and you should know the rules. Okay, and you should know what to do when the question asks you to factorize, to solve, to simplify, to prove, to draw, and many other of those key points. You should know what to do. What should you do when you factorize, solve, simplify, prove, draw, sketch, and so other things? Those are the type of mathematical questions that we normally are aware of. And the whole syllabus will be covered in the question paper. All the units are equally important. So then we have to look at all the units, not only one, not two. So then you have to go through all your units and know the rules, know the formulas, and many other things that you should know. And the examination out of 130, and you need to score a minimum of 50 or 60% for you to pass the examination. And you should read and understand the question carefully before you answer. You should always read the question before you answer. Okay, that's it for today. I wish all the best in your examination. Go and practice and practice.